Well, yes, our focus on the state of the policy development in different parts of the country. Well, this morning we're just going to be getting an update from Mr. Sunny Friday, who is a parent of some of the students of the School of Forestry in Kaduna. He'll be joining us via Zoom this morning, and then we will also be joined by Yunusa Tanko, who is a former presidential candidate, also to weigh in on the subject matter across the country. But let me start off with Mr. Sunny Friday. Well, it was really unfortunate, the kidnapped incident of the students of the School of Forestry. Your daughters, two of them, unfortunately, also were kidnapped. So could you tell us, what is the current situation at the moment? Has anything changed whatsoever?
Good morning, and thank you for having me this morning. Actually, from your question, I want to say that currently there is nothing that has changed. You recall that about 3 weeks ago, some students were released, about 10 of them. And since then, we have been looking and watching with all anxiety that it will not take even up to 2 days before the remaining student will be released. But up to now, we have not heard anything from anybody. In fact, it looks as if everybody seems to be relaxed about the issue. And we, the parents, we are worried about the situation. And we must confess that we are not happy. There is tension everywhere, most especially now that we are hearing about the killing of the students that were adopted from Greenfield University. Our children have spent about 47 days in the captivity, and it seems as if nobody is saying anything about it. So the parents are worried, and in fact, the anxiety is becoming, the trauma is becoming too tough, too hard on us. We don't know. We don't know the current situation of our children. We don't know the current situation. We don't know how they are feeling. We don't know whether they are being taken care of, because even the bandits recently, they started calling us that they are running out of patience. They are calling individual parents now to come and pay the ransom and get their children out. And the price tag they are placing on each child now is 5 million if you must get your child out. Like me that have 2 children now, I will have to pay 10 million. And the thing, I don't know. The system is doing, we don't see the system doing anything about this situation. And we are still looking unto God, praying that we get a way out of this.
Is there anything that the government of Kaduna State telling you? Has the government within the past few weeks spoken to you as to, okay, this is what is being said, this is what is being done? Any communication at all from the government since the last time we spoke?
The last time I heard from the Commissioner for Internal Security was on AIT. He has not communicated with us. He has not communicated with us since the first day we met with them at the government house, which is on the 19th of March. They have not gotten to us again. They have not said anything. Instead, they have been, it's like they are not happy with the way we are addressing the press. They are not happy with our protest. And I told you the other time that all they told us at the government house was to pacify us, not to address the press, to pacify us, not to protest. And that the security agencies are on top of the matter. And as I'm talking to you now, the security and the commissioner cannot point out one person that was rescued by the security in this situation. What we are trying to say is that the government position seems to remain the same. They have refused to change their position as to that they will not negotiate with the bandits. They have refused to change the position that they will arrest anybody that negotiates with the bandit. And we parents, our own position too remain the same, that in as much as they refuse that they will not negotiate, we too, we will tell them that we continue to negotiate. And we are saying that it is better we be arrested when our children are under the comfort of their father's home. And then we can be in the detention of government. We have been arrested for a very long time. Since March 11, we have been under mentally emotional arrest. And we have been traumatized on many sides. You can't beat somebody and say you should not cry. So that is our position. And by God's grace, we will come out with another position very soon, maybe before this week runs out.
You know, hearing you talk about the bandits and making the demands, calling individual parents, just to understand what works, I mean, how some of these things are playing out. Were there any such calls to any parents before some of those students who were released were subsequently released?
No, there was no call like that. Even we ourselves, including the government, were surprised what really happened that led to the release of the 10 people that were released. Like I mentioned, I refer to the chat or the conversation of the commissioner on AIT sometimes last week, where he was saying that he was suspecting that myself and the chairman of the committee would have gone from back to pay the bandit for the release of those 10. But I want to say that is ridiculous, because I can't imagine myself going to pay for the release of 10 victims without paying for even one of my daughter to come out. And I have 2 daughters there. I should have been able to pay for one. So this is the same person who told the world that the first set of 5 that were released were rescued by the military. Now coming to tell the world that he's suspecting that we are the one that pay for their release. And before they were released, there was no call to individual parents. There was no call. It was after they are released that we started receiving call. The last call we received was on Thursday last week, when the parents called themselves for a prayer at the calling. In fact, before we round up the prayer, almost all the parents that they have changed their mind, where they are not waiting for the government again. They are only they are calling on the individual parents to come and pay the ransom and pay the ransom to release for the release of their children. So that is the situation we found ourselves now, and we don't know where to go from here, because with the number of parents that we have and the kind of people we have, the children that are left in the hand of bandits now, I discovered that it will be difficult for some parents to even raise up to 50,000 naira. And here we are, the bandits are demanding for 5 million. That is the situation we find ourselves. It's like we are being abandoned by the state government. We are being abandoned by the institute, Forestry Research Institute, and we are still calling on them to do something.
Well, you know, from what you said, it does suggest as though monies were paid before the students were released, but the bone of contention is who paid the money. Is that right?
So the issue is that I didn't actually say money was paid. I quoted the Honorable Commissioner for Internal Security, Mr. Arua Samuel, who spoke to AIT in the recent chat he has with them, that he is suspecting that myself and the chairman of the committee must have gone behind to pay money. And I'm trying to disapprove that. I'm trying to counter that if we paid, myself and the chairman, we have daughters. I have 2 daughters, and the chairman have a daughter there. If actually we paid, we should have paid for our children to come out. At least I should have paid for one of my child to come out. Not that somebody will just say he's suspected. I didn't expect that from somebody like him.
Yes, I get that point, but what I'm saying is that it does come across as though, because from what you said, he believes, it does then suggest that monies may have been paid for those releases to have happened. So perhaps that may then have informed why the bandits are demanding parents to pay 5 million naira, as you have said. That's just what I'm asking.
If there is anybody that paid the money, maybe the government, the state government must have gone from back to pay for some certain people. That is all I could say about that. But for us, as parents, we have not paid anything. But what the bandits are telling us is that the government have refused to respond, which has been our cry. And we are now calling on the bandits to please create a platform where we, the parents, can negotiate and at the same time appeal to them to reduce their demand to the level that we can be able to raise and pay for the release of our people. Since we are left to our fate. That is what we are saying. And I think that is what informed the bandits to now come down and begin to demand parents to come and pay 5 million on each child. And we are still crying that we cannot. We are still in the negotiation till date. So we have not even finished the negotiation when 10 people were released. And you don't expect us to fold our hands. We have to be talking with them. We have to be negotiating with them so that they will not start rough handling our children. In fact, spending 47 days in the bush is a very long time already. This is a first in the history of kidnapping in an institution like ours. It's a federal institution, for God's sake. And till now, nobody is telling us anything that we want to hear. That is ridiculous.
All right, Mr. Friday, we do thank you for your time this morning. Mr. Sunny Friday is a parent of 2, incidentally, of some of the kidnapped students and also a member of staff. We do hope that all of this are sorted out in good time.
Amen.